Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is episode 189 of Dude the Monkey, as always. I'm your man. I'm Ian Loring. He's your other man.
I'm Mark Foster. Hello, everybody.
Fuck.
You've had a stressful day, haven't you?
Well, yeah, just bloody, I don't know, things and life and stuff like that. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty much the same.
Yeah, man, I don't know, Christmas and stuff and things. What have we got today? We've got Office Christmas Party. We've got a review of that.
Yes.
And we're going to talk what we watched, I assume.
Yes.
And we'll also talk some trailers and whatnot. So I suppose let's get on it. Tomorrow I start my journey with Final Fantasy 15, which is the first Final Fantasy I've ever played. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I've never played a Final Fantasy ever. I once mistakenly a girl I was talking to once, a friend actually. She asked if I was into the Final Fantasy thing, and I thought she said something else, and I said yeah. Then she started talking about it, and it was one of those things where I was out, and it got to about 20 minutes, and I thought, no idea what she's talking about at all, and she was just going on and on. But I thought, I know her quite well now, but I only just kind of met her, and I thought, I don't now want to say I have no idea what you're talking about for like the past 20 minutes. So I just kept going, that bit was, it was, I like that bit as well, yeah. And kept it going, and it went on for about an hour and a quarter, right? I'd actually gone and got another drink, and come back and she carried on talking. And then it wasn't until she went to get a drink that one of the other guys turned and went, "You've never played Final Fantasy ever, have you?" Like, not a fucking clue, don't even.
Yeah.
If you put a load of boxes in front of me, and said which one's the Final Fantasy box, won't even be able to pick it out.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. It's just like people seem to be banging on about it being really good, and I'm up for a bit of Japanese madness. So why not? I'll probably stream some of it as well. So
I'll probably watch it.
There you go. So alrighty. Anything else going on, or should we just crack on?
Yeah, crack on with trailers. It's been a refreshingly quiet week, we'll say. We had the early bullshit of people trying to create a furore about Martin Scorsese movies, but then that kind of luckily just disappeared, which was nice.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Bigger things to worry about.
It's a ball sack in a teacup.
Yeah. Pretty much. So yeah, trailers. Fucking hell, what's that on my trousers? Jesus fucking Christ.
Is it cold?
No, it's unless my cum's brown. Well, somebody else's cum brown, maybe. Why would it be? It doesn't necessarily have to be my cum. Somebody may have came on my trousers. I don't know anymore.
You did have an eventful night on Friday.
I did have an. Oh no, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Both you and Noel had eventful weekends.
Yeah. Fuck, let's just move on from that. So there was a trailer for Transformers The Last Night, which I'm kind of up for, because it looks like Bay is just chucking everything and just seeing what sticks now.
Yeah, that's Bay's kind of whole shtick a little bit, I think, nowadays. I've not watched any of the Transformers movies since the first.
I have watched all of them for some reason. Did I see the third one in the cinema? I don't even remember. I did
watch the trailer and thought, do you know what? I'd watch that.
No, exactly. I don't know. It looks mental. It's obviously going to get 1 and 2 star reviews and make like $1 billion worldwide. And I don't know. If they're now saying that Transformers actually shaped humanity's like big moments in history, then I'm kind of up for seeing what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm actually now to the point of where I kind of like that the Transformers movies come out. Movie fans hate them and just derise them as much as they can, and even like magazines that will have it on the front cover 2 or 3 times possibly in a year, and will do loads of features. We'll give it 1.5 stars, but the fucker will still make $1 billion. I actually kind of like that, because it's not. This isn't what people get confused. Is this isn't Michael Bay sticking 2 fingers up at critics and movie snobs and things like that, and saying "fuck you, I've made a franchise that makes $1 billion every fucking time." It isn't that. It's your general movie-going audience that are sticking 2s up and going, "Do you know what? We don't care that you don't like it. We don't care that you don't like it, because we're going to go and see it. We're going to go and see it. We're going to talk all the way through it. We're going to buy popcorn and nachos and a big drink. We're going to use our phones in it. Do you know what? Don't go watch it. You don't have to go and watch it. You do not. Not everybody on Twitter and all these forums that is a movie fan gets paid to go and see these things. They don't. They just don't. If you get invited to a press screening, you don't have to go because it's free and then slag it off online. Just don't go. Don't get involved with it. In the same way as I have never watched Strictly Come Dancing or X Factor or I'm a Celebrity. I haven't watched any of those. But do you know what? If other people want to watch them and they want to enjoy them, fine. Do you know what? I don't have to. But now it's making me go, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go and watch the 5th or 6th or 4th, whatever Transformers movie it is, at the cinema. And I'm going to bask in the ridiculousness of it all. And I'm going to come out and go, well, that was shit. Or I'm going to come out and go, I enjoyed that. Fuck it.
Yeah. I don't know. It could really go one of either way. Yeah. It really, really could, man. Anyway, Baywatch.
Yes.
Looks all right.
Yep. I'm all for it. I love the fact that it seems to be incredibly aware of what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's doing the Jump Street thing, isn't it? But I don't know. The Rock is pretty self-aware. Zac Efron's pretty self-aware. Why not? It seemed like people didn't like it, but
people were never going to like it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, The Rock, everyone fucking likes The Rock. I mean, it already kind of feels like, right, okay, so is The Rock backlash going to begin now then?
That could be the one that they could try and trigger it, but I think that the way that they're doing it is quite good, because the reason why Baywatch kind of started to crumble was because people said, it's just leery at women in not a lot of clothing. And that was what made it successful, and it was eventually what was kind of its downfall. What they've done with this is they've kind of preempted what people are going to complain about and go, wait a minute, no. The leering is at these 2 guys. Go on then, get your fucking panties in a wad about that one then, because they don't care. Nobody cares. And I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, I'm done reacting to people, man. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Baywatch movie in the sense that I like The Rock and I like Zac Efron. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Spider-Man: Homecoming, sure, why not? It doesn't particularly thrill me, but the Doctor Strange one didn't either, and I enjoyed that greatly. So. Who's to say?
Do you know what my thing about the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer is? It looks like a Spider-Man movie. In the same way as The Amazing Spider-Man looked like a Spider-Man movie, and in the same way as Spider-Man, the Raimi one, looked like a Spider-Man movie. It just looks like a Spider-Man movie. Which isn't a bad thing or a necessarily good thing. It's just, I already see people sort of seem to think that this is, oh yes, look, Marvel have got this, now they're going to do it right. It's like, do you know what, they might, but that just looks like a Spider-Man movie. It just looks...
I think that's fair, man. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, yes, you've got Iron Man in there, and it's Tony Stark being Tony Stark, and I'm going to be very intrigued to see whether they can have Spider-Man actually make his own impression in a film where Tony Stark is also there. I mean, at least you had Captain America had a couple of solo films before they brought Tony Stark on there. But I mean, it would be nice if he was just not the parental figure, but like the older figure, and it was about a newer cast of characters, and you've just got him. I mean, do you know what? If it's him making a load of jokes about Marissa Tomei being hot, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly comfortable with that. Yeah.
Yep. War for the Planet of the Apes, Ian.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cum-worthy, frankly, isn't it? I mean, it looks like absolutely everything I want it to be.
Yeah. It's a war
movie.
It's a war movie.
Yeah, it's an ape versus Woody Harrelson. That's all I want in life.
Yeah, because I completely forgot they cast Woody Harrelson in that role. And then when you have the shot where you see him and he's in all the camouflage, and you just get him turned around, and I just went, holy shit, that's Woody Harrelson. Oh, yeah. And then it all came from that he was cast. I thought, hang on a minute, if this Woody Harrelson fights apes, yes, that sounds like a futuristic game show.
Yes, I would kickstart that happily.
I would, yeah. This just, yeah.
I would kickstart that happily. I don't know, man. I mean, I like the fact that Caesar is the through line here, and not any of the human characters. Like, it looks like what's his face? Jason Clarke. Yeah. It looks like he's nowhere to be seen. Obviously, James Franco's nowhere to be seen. It looks like Caesar versus Woody Harrelson. I'm betting Caesar will die, and it's going to set some shit off. Very, very pumped. Kind of wish it was coming out at Christmas, though. It has got a wintry vibe to it.
There's a wintry vibe to it, yeah. And as well, you know, as adds credence to what you just said about it being Caesar in the thing, the fact that it's Andy Serkis gets top billing is, you know,
awesome.
It's fantastic, and he's deserved thoroughly. But also, as well, I think it's a very much kind of like a statement of intent for the film, saying, look, you need to take this seriously, and this is an acting performance, and you know you need to stop looking at it as this is just a computer generated. There's a performance behind this. There's an actor playing that. It isn't just a voiceover. There's a lot more to this, and the mechanics of how Serkis has become the absolute master of that craft is testament to his acting ability. And Serkis isn't just a good actor when he's doing these type of roles. He's a good actor out of those roles as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's fantastic that essentially they're saying, look, this is a performance. This is a piece for that, and it goes back to something I remember reading years and years ago, where John Hurt, his manager and agent, kind of, because they were the same thing at the time, when he got cast in The Elephant Man, told him that it would kill his career, it'd kill his film career in America, because it wouldn't know it's him, and that he's in all this makeup, and that he shouldn't take the role, he should take another role. I can't remember what the role was now off the top of my head, but it was another film that ended up doing nothing, really. And he said that you should take this role rather than the role in The Elephant Man, which he obviously in the end up getting an Academy Award nomination for. So John Hurt said, at that point, had he not been my best friend, I would have sacked my agent / manager. The minute I got the what is it? He said, but we still talk about it there. And I think that's with Serkis, he's created a little niche for himself, but he's trying to kind of say, look, this isn't just me. I want other people to fucking do this.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, he's got that fucking studio, the Imaginarium, I think it is, isn't it? And he's supposed to be doing that adaptation of all Animal Farm and like a version of The Jungle Book. Whether that's going to happen is anyone's guess now. But I don't know. I'm interested. It's weird. I really, really like Rise and Dawn, but I don't go back to them that often. But I am quite looking forward to watching them again in the summer. To be fair, I'll probably do all the Apes films like I tend to do when these things come out. So But I think we need to do the main event, don't we? Really?
Yes, we do.
Because it certainly is the main event. Is the Noel Mellor and Ian Loring named
You guys did come up with this name.
F8 Fate, man. We fucking came up with that around Fast 7's release, I swear.
Yeah, you did. I know you did. I haven't listened back to the episode because I can't remember. I think it was on the Fast and Furious 7, whatever it's called. I think it was on that episode. But you and Noel definitely went through and got Fate F8 and went through that and called it Fate for the Furious or something along those lines. You maybe even said Fate of the Furious. But yeah, you guys did name it, which is proof again that Vin Diesel listens to Dude and a Monkey.
Yeah. See, more proof. Yes. I mean, I'm very intrigued because it does appear like that Charlize Theron mouth rapes Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is a fascinating character because and I'm not saying anything about his sexual orientation here. Just from an on-screen point of view, him kissing women is weird. It doesn't work.
No, he has little sexual chemistry with women on film.
Yeah, no, I mean
on film. Let's get that.
Absolutely.
Get involved there.
Why not? Yeah, no, absolutely. It looks. I mean, that shot where Charlize Theron goes in for him at the end. It's like, I'm assuming the context of the scene is that she is mind controlling him and she's essentially turned him off.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of going for him.
Like you said, there's the wonder of these movies and this series of movies, and the reason why they've become so successful is they've struck a zeitgeist, is the preposterousness of them. But they managed to make it fun, and this looks like it's always the same thing of where do you go from here? Where do they go next? How do they go next? It's the same film over and over again. How do they make it interesting? Well, they've gone interesting. You know, it's one trailer and a little bit of clever PR marketing 6 months ago by having The Rock and Vin Diesel fall out, which now makes it seem a little bit like, ooh, was that real or is that to create?
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. That feels like some solid long lead marketing, and
it's a long game that.
And good for them. Yeah. You know, good for them. It looks mental. Obviously, it does.
There's a fucking submarine.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's do it. But they don't care anymore, do they? They're just like, people just want this. Let's just like take them and give them a nice hard fucking of Fast and Furious.
I swear I saw an official. I can't remember if it was on Facebook or Twitter or on the Works Tumblr or something. But I saw an actual official proper, fan made post of the wrecking ball shot where the wrecking ball goes down.
Yeah.
And it says it was a GIF of that, and the tagline was "They came in like a wrecking ball."
Well, that's wonderful.
I thought the people behind the marketing of these movies are just so on fucking point. And the other GIF is it's The Rock beating against the cell of Jason Statham. And there's two of them, and it's just him beating on them. One, it says, "I will beat you," and the other one says, like a Cherokee drum. I thought, this is just gold.
Yeah. No, it's... they're embracing it. They know they make a shitload of money and people love it, and they just have to be silly. Yeah. And I mean, good on him, man. I'm no one is more surprised than me by how much I've turned around on these films, but they are fun fucking films, and this looks like a blast. I'm very excited. It's going to make so much money. It's untrue.
And good on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited.
Yeah.
So speaking of very excited, Office Christmas Party. It's directed by people.
Will Smith and Josh Gordon.
Yeah, who did Blades of Glory and The Switch, I believe.
The Switch.
Yes, indeed. And it stars Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston, T.J. Miller, others. I don't know why I'm saying it with that kind of tone, really. So basically, they've got to have an office cut party to impress a potential client, otherwise they're going to close the branch. Mark, Office Christmas Party.
I liked it.
Yeah?
It's yeah, I did. Yeah. If any of us were going to like it, it was going to be me. The thing is, it's weird because there's a point where it's on a real high, and then the start of the third act, it starts to dip again. And I thought, oh, is this it? Has it just? It has all the energy sucked out of it. I think a little bit, and then because you have a realization, we are all suppose all the time. You have a realization about a character, the character that they're trying to impress to get his contract. It turns out he's been fired anyway, so they can't get the contract. And then the movie kind of shifts its kind of end game a little bit to somewhere else, to somewhere where you know you know where it's kind of going because they've already laid the groundwork down for that air fire, whatever it's called. That's been laid down quite heavy, so you know that's coming back at some point. But then it does have a bit of a lull there, but it does manage to pull it back quite nicely. And weirdly, there's a lot of Fast and Furious references within the movie as well, which were quite
no, they're pretty solid actually. Yeah. No, good.
And it does seem like the vast majority of the cast are having fun. Not all of them work in terms of for how well they fit into it and how their comedic characters kind of their beats hit. Some of them are great. Others, which we'll get into, are just plain annoying at points. And my usual hatred for Olivia Munn in things isn't in this. I think she's very good in this, actually. And I think her playing a more straight character works really well for her. She was quite charming in it. Quite level, and I liked that, and I liked her character, and it all worked in it. And she wasn't just trying to be the, oh my god, look how beautiful I am. She was just being a very confident character. Not cocky or anything, just a very confident character. Bateman, I thought, worked. T.J. Miller just does what he does when he steals every scene he's in, but even like the most of the supporting cast worked. There was a few that didn't, but we'll get into those. But yeah, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I liked it as well. I was pretty hungover. Actually, I may have still been drunk, to be honest. But it was kind of what I needed. I mean, the film will remain forever etched in my memory for Shut the Fuck Door, which
yes. Shut the fuck door.
Just because Shut the Front Door and a term that I coined, fudgy bananas, are two things that I say at work.
Yeah.
When I literally someone will ask me a question, I'll be like, "Oh, fudgy bananas, man," and they'll look at me, and if it's like a new person, they'll be like, "What?" And it's like, it's what I need to say instead of swearing, so that if I'm over, because I've got quite as we know, I've got quite a loud voice, and when I'm quality checking other people's calls, I can hear me in the background, and I have to be so careful with what I say in particular. Other people, I'm not a fan of it, because I think I genuinely, at work, I'm pretty fucking militant, and it's just like, we're all professionals, let's just do our fucking jobs, and we shouldn't be swearing. Other people can get away with swearing quite a bit, and it doesn't get picked up. Me, I can't. So, but yeah, fudgy bananas and shut the front door. So shut the fuck door. I did make. I mean, that's just T.J. Miller's way of saying it as well. And I thought him and Bateman actually worked quite well against each other. They're good. They're good chalk and cheese. Yeah, I mean, I think it maybe slightly kind of breaks down at the end, really, where is it Gillian Bell? Yeah, Gillian Bell's character kind of gets a bit more
Yeah,
involved, and
which is never a good thing.
yeah, I mean, I don't know,
I don't get her thing.
no, I'm not a mass. I would prefer to just like watch Rebel Wilson do that kind of thing, to be honest with you. I quite like Rebel Wilson. I find her funny. Um, yeah, I mean, I felt it was a little long, maybe as well. Is it like an hour 45?
Yeah, it's now 45.
Yeah, cut that shit down to 90 minutes, please.
This movie should be no more than 98 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, because the setup actually takes a fair bit of time to get going. From the start of the film to the party, there's probably 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, there's a good half an hour, I would say, before the party actually starts. So you can say there is a bulk of setup, but I don't think it'd benefit from losing bits in that. I think it'd benefit from losing bits within the party, to be honest.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, you've got the whole bit with the woman with the kids who's getting with Kim Jong Un from the interview. Randall Park, that's him.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes nowhere, and then she starts having the thing with the other guy, and it's like, yeah, just maybe don't have that bit.
Yeah, you could quite easily have got rid of that entire bit and a few other bits, and still had the same movie.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I don't know, because it's been getting some really poor word. It seems like people just haven't taken to it at all. I mean, it's no classic.
No, it's not a classic, but I don't. The thing is, I got to say I don't see how people could actively dislike it, but I could see how people could just not get on with it. Because it is a little bit. It's not overtly crass or anything like that, so it doesn't have that. But there are a few irritating kind of characters in it. I think they could kind of grate on people. To be honest, I thought Kate McKinnon was too much in that. She was too much a character. She didn't feel real.
Yeah.
And she was the only thing in it that didn't feel real. That felt like that was an idea for a Saturday Night Live skit, which was fine if it's a 7-minute skit once every few, but over an entire movie, it was a little bit like, ooh, do you know what? I thought you were fantastic in Ghostbusters, but the more I see you in now, the more I'm going, is that more like what your stuff is? And
she has to be the most standout person in anything she's in, by the looks of it.
Yeah. And in this, she's going up against people who, personally, I just think are a little bit. Some are funnier, but others are more. They're more seasoned at being this bigger production. So they could deal with it going, do you know what? Sometimes you have to tone things down. You've got over an hour and 45 minutes of a film. You've got a good chunk of screen time to impress. You don't have to impress in a skit. You've got a lot of fucking screen time. Tone it down a couple of levels, and you've got a better character. And that's where it would go.
Makes sense.
Even look at something like Rob Corddry. Rob Corddry looks like Jason Bateman was telling him about the script that he was going to do for his Christmas party, and he went, that sounds fun. So you're going to make a big party? Yeah. Oh, all right, can I come? What do you mean? Like, can I be in the movie or something? Well, yeah. It just felt like he just turned up on set every day and they went, all right, be this character.
Yeah, no, quite. I don't know. It's got that whole kind of like ramshackle, improv-y kind of thing that comedies seem to do these days. You had the end credits kind of like thing where they was going through the alternate lines, and so there obviously was that. I mean, it was fun to see Courtney Vance kind of letting it all hang out as such as well. I mean it's obvious, and I think it was in the trailer as well, but when he gets all the lights together and he just like swings off that thing and then just completely fucks over, that's the kind of dumb, fucking, stupid shit that I like from my comedy every now and then. I just need someone to take a fucking fall like no one's business. Like, fuck it, Friday night, man, I tipped a table over in a restaurant twice by accident. And the second time, apparently, I don't even remember this, but the second time, I just looked it up with my mate Steve and just went, well, that was pretty solid. You know, and it was just like, I like physical harm, whether it's me or someone else, if it's in a pratfall situation.
Yeah, well, do you know what I really liked about that? That he didn't get up and do the "I'm okay" thing.
Yeah, no, it was just, he's fucking down.
Yeah. I like that, which sounds horrible, but it's kind of true.
Yeah, no, true that. I'd go with that. Yeah, I don't know, there's not much to say about it, but it's just, it is a good little time.
Yeah, I enjoyed Jennifer Aniston in it as well.
Yeah, so did I.
I think she's better served where she's the. Cause I think Jennifer Aniston is a great comedic actress. I don't see people's issues with it. You know, you go back and you watch Friends. She's very good at that, and she's got very good at being kind of not the star of films, but being almost the Jennifer Aniston, where she doesn't have to be front and centre. She can come in and do a little bit, and she's very solid at it. And, you know, she attracts a crowd because she's Jennifer Aniston, because she's an incredible likeable screen presence, even when she's playing an unlikable character. And her kicking the pimp henchman's ass was fantastic. I like the fact that we didn't just see loads of it, you just got an idea of it, but it worked. It added a fun element to it. It was, yeah, I enjoyed my time with it, and it will be something that I come to watch, you know, at Christmas. It's one of the movies where I look forward to it and go, I'm watching that Christmas fucking week, but it'll be one where, in December, where I'm going, right, I'm going to watch some Christmassy stuff. It'll be one that I go, ooh, Office Christmas Party, there we go. It's not especially Christmassy as something like The Night Before, for instance, from last year, but, you know, it's December, I've got an excuse to watch it again now.
Yep.
So
yep, absolutely, I'd go with that. I'll probably, yeah, definitely not shit, I'll probably watch it again.
Cool, I'll just see what everyone else thought of it. So, not too many votes, I just think that not too many people saw it, to be honest. So, definitely not shit, 40%, and shit, 60%.
Well, alright.
Yeah, I think that's
bit harsh.
Harsh, but yeah.
Bit harsh. But yeah, okay, so that's Office Christmas Party, and let's move into some what we've been watching. So, Mark, what have you got this week, bud?
Well, I've done a few Christmas ones. Did you watch Spectral by any chance?
Not yet. Netflix, no, I am planning on it though.
Right, I'll talk about that then, brief. I won't go into too much detail about sort of like the. I won't give any spoilers away. Is what I'll say.
Okay, sure.
So Spectral, it was originally, I think it was, you know, I was about to say proper movie, but I'm correcting myself.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It was originally going to be a Legendary Pictures with Universal, and it was going to be theatrically released, but then it got shelved, and Netflix came in and went, can we have that? And they said, yeah, sure. I'd like to know why it was shelved, because my biggest complaint about Spectral is I'd like to have seen it in a cinema.
Wow, really? Okay.
It's my biggest complaint about it. It looks fantastic. It's a really solid story. It's a.
Sorry. Brilliant response on our Twitter thing to the vote for Office Christmas Party.
I've not seen this.
This is Sarah at Caution Spoilers. I have seen this film, but I can't vote as I have no idea what touching cloth means. Is it not safe for work?
Yeah.
A kinda. It's not shit, and it's not shit.
It's in between.
It's, yeah, in between. There we go.
It is.
Yeah, well, she doesn't listen to our show, obviously, but good on her. Good on her for responding with that. Anyway, sorry, but I just thought it was funny.
Yes. That's my complaint. Is it looks great. The cast are all very good. It's a really solid film. Do you know what? How I make my list of my top 10 movies is I go through all of the movies that would qualify for it, and I whittle it down. So I'll go, that's in contention for top 10. And I might have 50 movies that are in contention. And then I go through and I go, well, that's getting knocked out. I don't like that as much as that. And that's how I build my list. And I get to around about 12, 13, 14, 15 or something like that. And that's when I start to rank them. And then from there I can rank going further down. But that's how I make my lists. And I'm not saying it's going to be in my top 10. I'm not saying that. But at the moment, it's a consideration for my top 10, without question. It might end up being 21, 22, 23, 24, but there's every possibility it could also end up being my number 9 or number 10, to be honest. It is...
Wow, fucking hell, man. Okay.
It's really, really solid. And I went into it going, alright, James Badge Dale. When is James Badge Dale not great in something? He's a brilliant character actor, and he should be. The brilliance of James Badge Dale is he should be getting more, but he's not because he's a character actor, which is fantastic, and I love that about him. He's always good in stuff. And Emily Mortimer's, again, usually fantastic in stuff. You might see the occasional not great film that Emily Mortimer's in, but she's always quite good in them. Max Martini is called Major Sessions. Max
solid.
Martini is called Major Sessions. Brilliant.
Very solid.
The story of it is that James Badge Dale's character is Dr. Mark Klein, who I would watch a series of films with his character. He's a scientist and he develops countermeasures, which are always turned into weapons. And a sort of a technology that he's developed, which is being used by the military, which seems like a goggles that can see in kind of all different lights and things like that, are picking up interference. But the interference appears to be something that they can't quantify what it is. So he's sent to Moldova. This whole thing's set in Moldova, which is really strange. He's sent to Moldova to look at this because this static on his thing seemed to look like a person and seems to have killed the Delta Force agent that was wearing the goggles. And so they're trying to work out what it is. And these things keep on attacking them. Every time they go into somewhere near it, they're getting attacked by these things. And he's sent to work out what it is. Emily Mortimer works for the CIA and she's running the Delta Force operation. She wants him to work out what it is so that they can utilise it. She thinks it's a cloaking device. James Badge Dale thinks it's not a cloaking device. It can't be a cloaking device. And it's all about that, and it becomes a bit of a siege movie, and it's got so many different elements, but it's pacey as hell. It's an hour and 45 minutes. Like I say, it doesn't look like it's mid-budget. It looks, if you were to pitch it up against another sort of big sci-fi release of something, let's say like Independence Day, the Independence Day 2, it looks, the CG and the computer graphics are just as good as that. But there's a lot of model work in this, and you can tell, and there's a lot of clever location work gone into it that they've then utilised in that Nick Matthew, who's directed it, and the tech team behind it. What they've done is they've done like Scorsese and like Fincher does. They've used CG to enhance the movie rather than build the movie, and it works really well, and it makes it look like a real world lived in. And yeah, it's I won't go into too much detail because it is on Netflix and everybody can watch it. And I don't want to spoil it because I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it's a really, really solid watch.
That sounds good, man. Okay.
What I'd say is if for any it won't happen, but if for any reason ever there was just a Netflix went, do you know what? This has been a real success. We're gonna allow it to go on fucking special screenings, something like that. I'd go watch it. I'd happily go and pay a tenner to go watch it, even though I will always be able to watch it on my Apple TV or on my PS4 or on my phone or on my iPad. I'd happily pay a tenner to go and see it as well on a big screen because it'd benefit from that. I was really quite taken by it.
Sweet, man. That's fuck. Okay, fair enough. That's really, really promising.
Yeah, it was. And I hope that the other people. The word seems to be quite good about it. I mean, Netflix seems to have been a little bit like, fucking hell, let's buy this. It's not shit. It's good. Look at this. And Netflix's slate coming up next year, 2017, is pretty fucking good. It isn't just the odd kind of movie kind of thrown out there. You've got big budget, like 90, 60, 70, and $50 million movies that aren't starring Kevin James or Adam Sandler. You've got the Mute, for instance, the new Duncan Jones movie.
Oh, the Duncan Jones, yeah.
You've got a new David Ayer movie.
Bright.
Bright, yeah, that's going to be on there. You've got the new Death Note movie, Gerald's Game. Angelina Jolie's got one in development that's coming out next year for on Netflix. It's weird that it's kind of. My only thing now is, do you know what? It's great that these are going to land. I'm going to be able to watch it as part of my subscription. But do you know what? I'd happily go and pay 15 quid to go and watch the new David Ayer movie at the cinema, but I'm not going to be able to do that. And it's kind of making me go, hang on a minute. Is all that we've been asking for, all I've been wanting, now I'm actually getting it, am I now going, I kind of don't want it, I want it on my terms, not on your terms, which is, is my problem. It's a bit of a, hang on a minute, you've been fucking crying out, people, for same day release. This is same day release, but it's not same day release. It is, we're fucking giving you this as part of your subscription. It's a proper big budget movie, and you're still going to bitch and moan that you can't go and see it at the fucking cinema. Fuck you. And it's quite right to be saying that, but I'm still saying it. So it is a little bit strange that it feels a little bit wrong, and I don't know. On one hand, I'm arguing saying, look, I want to be able to see fucking Thor Ragnarok at home if I wanna, but I'm then saying I want to go and see Bright in the fucking cinema if I want to.
Yeah. Oh no, fucking A, man. Yeah, no, it's the next year of Netflix stuff is going to be really, really promising, and I just think my one complaint about Netflix's releases so far is that apart from their actually in-home house stuff, not the stuff that they bought in, not a lot of it is in 4K.
Is Spectral not in 4K?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I mean, I'll have a look later. But generally, if it's made by Netflix, they'll film their stuff in 4K. So Special Correspondence, The Do-Over, yeah, you can watch those in 4K. Beasts of No Nation, no. The Fundamentals of Caring, that Paul Rudd won from earlier on this year, no. So I don't know. And it's like... But then again, Mute is actually being made by Netflix, isn't it? But like Spectral, I genuinely don't know. This is one that I'm kind of waiting for, like, when everybody else has gone to bed, I could just chill out for an hour and a half, like at night with it, and just have a good time, Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of done there, I suppose.
Yeah. What else did I watch? We watched Die Hard, obviously, because it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, yeah.
And you've got to rewatch Die Hard. It's just fantastic. It's Die Hard. It really is a fucking 5-star movie. And there's little bits that kind of elevate it to being that 5-star movie. And it's the subtle little bits that always get it, like the conversation that John McClane has with the cop. What's his name?
Al.
Yeah, Al. there about why he's why he's not like why he's still around in the car, why he's not doing more, why he's behind a desk, and Powell's kind of saying, oh, it's because I shot a kid and he's going all of that. That has no, it doesn't feed the story at all. It doesn't feed John McClane's situation or anything like that. But it's those little moments that kind of make the movie, that elevate it above where it is as being a frankly kind of preposterous action movie. It is moments like that kind of, like I say, that just lift it that little bit further than a lot of movies of this ilk that were around at this time. And it's why it's still being kind of revered near 30 years later. So you rewatched that. Rewatched Christmas Vacation because it's Christmas Vacation and it's always the first Christmas movie I watch in December. So I rewatched that. Yeah, I've talked about it every year for the past 4 years, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But the reason why I watched it, the first one I watch, is because then I can watch it a couple more times over Christmas. What else? Going through the Christmas ones I watched. I watched Krampus again.
Oh, how'd that go?
Well, yeah, because I wasn't as sold on it with you, but I do remember saying at the time, but the thing is, I'm looking forward to Christmas when I can watch it at Christmas again. So, even though I wasn't as for it as many other people, I still looked forward to the idea of watching it at Christmas. So we watched it, because obviously I couldn't see it at the cinema, but I was happy for it to watch it because it's just a little bit of gore. So we watched it on Saturday night, the three of us, and yeah, I still think, like Trick or Treat, I still think it's a little bit too long, even though it's only 98 minutes. I still think it's maybe 5-10 minutes too long, which I mean, it sounds like nitpicking, but I do think there's points where I want it to move a little bit quicker. I still think the ending is a little bit, not the actual ending, the bit before the ending feels a little bit where the kid goes to Krampus's kind of parade thing that he's fucking having with the family. That felt that dragged a little bit too much for me, and it just felt a little bit too much there. I didn't like that. It's you've had it, the rest of it all set within the house and a little bit within the street, and now you're taking it well away at the end of the movie, and you didn't need to. You could have done that. You could have fucking Beetlejuiced it and done that in the house. I don't see the reason for why he has to go on an adventure to get to there. It didn't add to the film at all. But it's fun. It's gory. There are consequences behind it. And I like the fact that there are consequences behind it in the terms of, kids die.
Yep.
And they don't necessarily come back. It's an open ending, so you've got to kind of pick where you decide the ending is and what the ending is to you, which I like about that. It's not. It doesn't say this is the ending, this is how it is. There's 2 or 3 different ways that can be kind of interpreted, which is nice. But yeah, I would say that I'm more for it than I was when I previously watched it.
Nice, man. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to rewatching that. It's gonna be getting done in the next week or so, I think. And again, just need. That's one I really don't want to watch in front of Lottie, so kind of have to bide my time there, really.
Well, I've got a couple more, but I feel like I've been talking for it.
No, mate. You seriously, you go ahead. I actually don't have that many, so right. you just crack on.
Cool. Right. All right. I'll do my last Christmas one. A first watch, actually. I watched Christmas with the Cranks. I don't quite know why.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Have you seen Christmas with the Cranks?
No.
Right. Christmas with the Cranks is directed by Joe Roth, but written by Chris Columbus. Stars Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Dan Aykroyd is also there as well. It's actually the second Dan Aykroyd movie I watched this week, which I didn't realise. The idea, right?
Nice.
It's a strange movie, Christmas with the Cranks. So it's based on a John Grisham book, actually, which
Really?
yes, it's based on
Wow,
John Grisham
okay.
book, which I didn't know until it came up and went, hang on a minute, did that say John Grisham? So I had to kind of rewind it and was like, yep, that said John Grisham.
Bloody hell.
Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis are the Cranks. They're not cranky people, so it's not that the Cranks, it's not one of those witty surnames for them being cranky people. They live on one of those kind of gated communities where everybody has to kind of conform to certain things, and usually they conform to those certain things. But this is the first Christmas they're going to spend without their daughter, Blair. Now, I'll come to Blair in a second, because anytime Blair is mentioned or Blair calls, Jamie Lee Curtis's character completely freaks out. And
why?
I don't know, but it does seem like Becky's exact reaction when we paused at one point to grab a drink was, what the fuck is everyone's thing with this Blair girl? Everybody in the street seems to adore Blair. And I was like, I don't know. And Beck's words were, I mean, she must like fucking shit fucking gold and give out free fucking BJs to everybody, because everybody seems to adore this girl Blair to a weird level. Right? But because they're having their first Christmas without Blair, who's off joining the Peace Corps, seriously, yeah. Tim Allen's character Luther decides that they're going to skip Christmas this year. Because he worked out that last year they spent $6,000 on Christmas. So they're going to skip it this year. They're not going to do anything with Christmas, but they have no bad feelings towards Christmas. They're just going to skip it because they're going to go on a Caribbean cruise instead, and they're going to use all the money they usually spend on Christmas to spend on that. So that's it. That's them. They're skipping Christmas. But the whole street and Dan Aykroyd's Vic Frohmeyer, who he's kind of like the neighbourhood watch guy. They don't like the fact that they're not putting Christmas decorations up, and that they're not giving out Christmas cards, and that they've not got a Christmas tree, and all these things, and they're bringing the tone of the street down because they're not celebrating Christmas and everybody else is. So there's that going on. There is one really amusing scene where Tim Allen's character gets Botox.
You just said really amusing, just to confirm?
Yes, it is actually quite amusing. I found myself laughing quite a lot because he gets Botox and he can't move his face, and he's having a conversation about the fact that he's had Botox and how fantastic it is with Jamie Lee Curtis while they're having dinner, and he's trying to eat a fruit salad and it just keeps falling out of his mouth, which doesn't sound as amusing as it actually is at the time, and I was kind of
It certainly doesn't.
I was kind of shame laughing at it, going, I shouldn't find this amusing, but for some reason Tim Allen is one of those comedic fucking blind spots that I have, that I
cannot say anything there
at all, and I have a couple of these. There's the obvious one of Pauly Shaw. But there's also Tim Allen and Tom Arnold. I find these people funny, and I'm aware of the fact that there is me and a select group of people who find these people funny, and we could all be classified as having some kind of mental disability, I think. With absolution of that, yeah. But yeah, it's not a good film at all, and it finished, and I thought, the worst thing I can say about this movie is that I could see myself watching it again at some point, for no other reason of the fact that I'm an idiot. So yeah, Christmas with the Cranks, please don't rush and watch it. Please don't, because it's not very good. But if you're one of those people who already watches it each year, then yes, I can kind of see why you watch it every year. But please, nobody else watch it. It doesn't need to go on your Christmas rotation.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, well, fair enough.
Yeah, and my final one, another Dan Aykroyd movie, is Coneheads, which I haven't watched since I watched it at the cinema, like 20 odd years ago. And I remember kind of enjoying it, but Bex has been kind of saying that she would like to give Codes another go for quite a while because she remembers really enjoying it quite a lot. And I was like, I just found it being a bit shit. So we rewatched Coneheads, and it kind of is a bit shit, but it's very much a product of that early 90s. Yes, it comes from a Saturday Night Live sketch. And it's Aykroyd being Dan Aykroyd when Dan Aykroyd could still fucking sell a movie, which seems really fucking strange now. But yeah, it's Coneheads. Everybody from our generation has seen Coneheads. I assume you've seen Coneheads, yeah?
Oh, many moons ago. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
That's it. And that's what I was like. I remember watching it, and I remember not hating it, but not particularly liking it. Like, I've not watched it since. But it's under 90 minutes. So I thought, under 90 minutes of Dan Aykroyd, I can quite easily get away with that. But yeah, I quite enjoyed my rewatch of it. A lot of people kind of crop up. Tom Arnold, for instance, crops up. John Lovitz is there. Phil Hartman's there. Adam Sandler's there. Chris Farley's there. David Spade. Sinbad, Parker Posey, Joey Laurel Adams. Ellen DeGeneres is in there as well. So there's a lot of people from that era are all kind of thrown in it, and you're going, that's yeah, but it's fun. It's stupid, really fucking stupid, but it's kind of supposed to be fucking stupid. But yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's 90 minutes long, and there's enough laughs in it to kind of go, do you know what? If you're struggling, for instance, I know that you watch movies on the train to and from work in bits. If you're struggling and thinking, right, what do I watch next? It would serve quite well watching this over like a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning in January, when it's a little bit fucking cold.
Fuck's sake, yeah, okay,
and
yeah,
going,
sorry.
Do you know what? You're a little bit miserable because you're back at fucking work after having hopefully a little bit of time off at Christmas, and you kind of go, do you know what? I need a little bit of downtime from all these worthy Oscar baity films. So yeah, fuck it. Coneheads. It'll be good to watch on a train when it's still fucking dark and you're going to work, and then on a train when you're coming back from work and it's fucking dark again. This will fill a nice little hole for you.
Fair enough, man.
Cool.
Fair enough.
That's it. That's what I've watched this week.
Good stuff. So, I've got a few things to talk about. To be honest, I probably won't take that long. Frozen, watched it with Lottie and Donna. We watch Frozen every year now. It's just a thing. Really like Frozen. What can I say? The Corpse of Anna Fritz. My review is on Vodzilla. It's on Shudder. 75 minutes long. Spanish horror. Extended sequence of a man fucking a corpse at one point. What is
Shudder like? Is it any good?
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, fuck, man. If it was me, 10 years ago, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know. I find it hard to get much. I mean, I don't know. Let's have a look what's on there at the moment. 31 just went on there. Fair play. Apparently, it's got a director's commentary and all sorts of shit in there.
The Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah. 31 director's commentary, yeah. And there's a making of as well.
That's pretty interesting. I've not even activated my what is it? Free trial or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, you get a week's free trial. I mean, they got Texas Chainsaw, Silent Night, Deadly Night, The Initiation, Madman, Don't Go in the House, Bay of Blood, Maniac Cop, Deep Red, Triangle, The Canal, Night of the Demons, Wreck 2, Demons 2, Lovely Molly, Lisa and the Devil, Exorcismus. I mean,
there's some decent stuff on that.
Yeah, man. If you're really, really into your horror, it's probably a fucking no-brainer. To be fair, it's just fair play. I mean, Who Can Kill a Child? But they got some Hammer stuff on there as well. Abominable Snowman, Horror Dracula, The Quatermass Experiment, Curse of Frankenstein, X the Unknown. Yeah, I mean, there's some. Yeah, fair play, man. I mean, like it's if you're into this stuff, there's good stuff there. But yeah, The Corpse of Anna Fritz is fucking terrible. I wrote a review. I got paid to watch it at least. It's really quite offensive in parts and then really derivative in others. It was fucking awful. Played LFF last year, God knows how. Avoid it like the plague. Don't avoid like the plague. A Monster Calls.
Oh yeah, 'cause you went to see this, didn't you? Yeah.
It's fucking tremendous. This, so it's Juan Antonio Bayonna's new film before he goes properly Hollywood with Jurassic World 2. But basically, this kid played by Lewis McDougall, whose mother is dying of cancer. The mother played by Felicity Jones, and he's basically refusing to accept it. And he is visited by a tree monster voiced by Liam Neeson, who says that he's going to tell him 3 stories. And once he's told him those 3 stories, he wants the boy to tell him a story, but it's got to be the truth. And then through there, Sigourney Weaver plays the boy's grandmother, who he doesn't get on with. He has a weird relationship with a bully, and his father, a kind of absentee father played by Toby Kebbell, kind of comes back into the picture as well. So yeah, this film's fucking raw. It's really, really lovely and heartfelt and pretty fucking devastating. I think the film is brilliant, but I could see where people could have problems. Felicity Jones is rather young for the role, even though they do actually comment on that within the film. But the lad is like a young teenager. Felicity Jones is not that much older than a young teenager, really. So it is a little...
Felicity Jones is 33.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, young teen. How old is he supposed to be then, around about?
I don't know, like 12, 13. I suppose, like, yeah, she'd be in her late teens, early 20s, so I suppose it could happen.
Because looking at it like that, I'm 34 and I've got a 12-year-old.
Yeah, you got a 12-year-old. All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's a fair point. All right, I would say she doesn't look... She doesn't seem like
I was surprised she was 33. I thought she was about 24, 25.
Yeah, straight up. There you go. Sigourney Weaver also really battles with a British accent, like kind of grapples it to the floor and rapes it. But it actually kind of weirdly adds to the character or your perception of the character, because there is an offness, like you're kind of on the boy's side and there's something not quite right there, so it does work. But there's some really interesting stuff in it. His relationship with his bully and what his bully does is really quite... I would have liked to have seen more of their interactions together. It was interesting. The stories the monster tells are done in these really lovely watercolor kind of like animated sequences, which just look incredible, like 2D kind of stuff, and it ties into the film quite directly as you near the climax as well. But I mean, the thing is, I don't think you'll be as taken with it as much as I was. It's just a feeling I have.
Is that because I don't like children?
Yeah, kind of.
And just taking you back a second, Jennifer Aniston saying "fuck you" to a little girl was fantastic.
Oh, actually, that was good.
I clapped.
Yeah. Actually, I think somebody in my audience that wasn't me clapped as well, actually. But it's really, really fucking good. And read my article. Literally, I walked out of the cinema about a week ago from right now. So without having someone to bounce it back off of, it's kind of hard to keep going, to be honest. But it's fantastic, and it will be probably in my top 5.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. It's really, I was really taken with it. Last thing for me, I believe, is Snowden. I checked out Snowden, which is Oliver Stone's dramatic recreation of Edward Snowden's life, which is framed kind of around the filming of the documentary Citizen 4. Melissa Leo actually plays that film's director, Laura Poitras. Zachary Quinto plays the Guardian journalist Glenn Greenwald, and which is, the thing is, just watch Citizen 4. I don't know. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing. Right, slight spoiler alert for Snowden. It's based on real life, but if anyone's really bothered about the ending of Snowden, do you mind?
No.
Right, the last 5 minutes of the film, it's actually Edward Snowden playing Edward Snowden. And it's really discombobulating, because he's doing a Skype-in appearance at a conference, and you see Gordon-Levitt behind a monitor, and then it pans round the monitor, and then it's Edward Snowden, and Edward Snowden gives a speech, but I don't think it's a live speech. It was filmed for the film. And the thing is, Gordon-Levitt and Edward Snowden don't sound like each other, and Gordon-Levitt is putting on a voice, and then Snowden talks, and it's where'd you get that voice from, Joe? I mean, after his Pepe Le Pew from The Walk, it's a bit. I think he just likes doing silly voices. So yeah, that was odd. And the thing is, it's very much just this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Every 10 minutes or so, it's but you wouldn't believe, look at this, bloody hell, they're watching you while you shit. And, they've got eyes everywhere nowadays. And privacy. And it's a little all right, yeah, okay, fine, Edward. It's weird that you only really started having a problem with this when you learnt that it was on American citizens. And, yeah, you were having some little quibbles about it when it was other nationals, but it was only really when it was Americans or when it was really aggressively, it could be anyone, we're fucking blowing up here, whatever, that you actually started getting a bit there. And the thing is, not to sound like a conservative, but I don't know, Snowden is being held up as a kind of a messianic figure who exposed all this stuff, and absolutely fair enough. And yes, he got to a point where he wanted to uncover it because he thought it was for the betterment of man, and I understand that. But I don't know. There is still some character stuff there which I feel is being left aside, and it was a very, 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 very brave thing that he did. Very, 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 very brave. But I feel there are some character flaws there, which if you're really gonna make a film, you've got to have more character than he's really dedicated to his country, even if he's not doing something the country wants him to do. It's that, and he has an on-off relationship with his girlfriend. That's kind of all there is there. And for a film that's well over 2 hours, I need more than that. And at the end, it is praise be to Snowden. And sure, and that's Oliver Stone. He always has a very direct viewpoint, and that's what he does. But between this and Citizen 4, I mean, at least gets into the minutiae a bit more, and it's not nearly as much about his relationship with his girlfriend, which, from a movie point of view, I see why they're doing that. It's not that interesting. It's not that interesting.
No, it's not.
I don't know, again, recreations, a director's view of what technology is and how to visualize it. It's his eye turns into wires, and then it's going through the internet, and it's not quite as bad as the representation of the WikiLeaks files in The Fifth Estate. which was fucking embarrassing. But this also feels like it could have been a sequence from a film 20 years ago.
Yeah, which Black Hat had that problem as well.
It did, yeah. So yeah, Snowden. It's fine. It's fine for what it is, but you can 100% see why it's been forgotten already.
Yeah, which it has.
So yeah. So there we go. So we actually have an email.
Oh, do we?
Yes. Marcus Sisu. Hi lads, subject line to the technology swapping weekly one and the It's a Perfect Tuesday Afternoon watch one. That's good. Hi lads, I look forward to your weekly. Yeah, no, straight up. I look forward to your weekly podcast and not chimed in for a while, so I thought I'd email. Forgive me if I sound like I'm rushing, but I kind of need to get on with being a parent. Here's a quick question: which director is a blind spot for you? Any major ones not really had your attention? Also, a little discussion piece. What's your opinion of French New Wave and Italian neo-realist films of 50s and 60s? Have you had spells diving into them? Do they do much for you? Are you not really fans? If I had all the time in the world to watch films, I would take in French New Wave and Italian neo-realist stuff myself. You know, I have seen The Bicycle Thief / Thieves. I have seen Godard, and I have seen some Truffaut. But not really. I always feel like it's a bit of an education, to be honest, and it's decreasingly what I go to films for. That's me. Director that was a blind spot for me. Fuck. I mean, probably people like that, or fucking Ozu or something. I mean, Ozu, I've only seen Tokyo Story.
Yeah,
you know,
that was Ozu was going to be was the one I was thinking of is my kind of blind spot, certainly. I'd like to watch more of the neorealism Italian stuff. I would, because I've liked what I watched. I can't get with French New Wave. I just can't. It doesn't.
That's fair.
Doesn't speak to me. And I remember for a long time as a film kind of fan feeling quite bad about that and feeling a little bit. I feel bad and I kind of didn't want to kind of like voice it for that. But as I've grown on it, I've kind of gone, do you know what? I'm happy in the fact that I don't get on with it. It just doesn't speak to me in the same way as other stuff. I like what it influenced. Don't get me wrong. You know, if you trace its, you know, where the people that influenced into the 70s director explosion that you had, you know, the people think it was an independent explosion. It wasn't. It was studio movies were being made by people like Martin Scorsese and De Palma and people like that, and they were quite heavily influenced by people like, you know, from French New Wave. So I like that. The action movies themselves, I personally, I don't tend to get on with. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch them now I'm a little bit older. Maybe I do. Maybe, you know, it is sort of worth going back and having another kind of look. But I studied a lot of them in when I did film studies, and they failed to strike a chord with me there. But that was, you know, nearly 20 years ago. So maybe I do need to sort of go back and look at it. But I always feel like Hitchcock's a bit of a director's blind spot for me, because he's somebody that I haven't really got on with that well. I find him quite hit or miss, but I think maybe if I watched more, I'd learn to like more, because the kind of lesser known Hitchcocks that I've watched I've enjoyed more than the you have to watch this Hitchcocks, is what I'd say there. So maybe I'm just I should watch more of those. So Hitchcock certainly, but it is something that I've kind of looked at and gone, next year or maybe I want to kind of do less rewatching and kind of get back into the newness of movies. Of that certainly, I think I've kind of got a little bit too comfortable in watching movies for the escapism of them, and I want to watch movies to kind of have that kind of, not lesson as such as you put it, but have that freshness and that newness kind of hitting me and discovering something a little bit more. So maybe, you know, Italian neorealism could be a good way to kind of get into that and to kind of do that, and to look at it next year and go, right, I want to watch at least one, possibly two completely new, out of my comfort zone movies, sort of a month.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we can just do that on the show.
So there's something I want to get into, that and get, because like I was saying to you last week, I'm getting that feeling back of loving watching movies again, and it's kind of cool.
Oh, good. No, good on you, man. I've got to go. I'm sorry. Can we put a pin in the questions for next week?
We can put in the questions for next week. Absolutely, we will answer questions. We always like getting questions, but life and time makes us run out. But I will keep them and we will answer them next week.
Yeah, it was completely my fault. I was running late, but Marcus actually sent that in before last week's show, and I didn't check the emails last week, so I thought I should get that in there. Thank you, Marcus. Next week, Steve Nixon is joining us for Rogue One, Star Wars story, and that's probably going to be quite a long review, to be fair. So that's it. Episode whatever the fuck it was. Sorry,
189.
189. Thank you very much. I literally need to go right now. Sorry. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.